All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise and get a really clear picture of the AI trends that are actually going to define our world in 2026. This isn't about hype. It's about what's really coming down the pipeline.
So here's the big question, right? What is AI truly going to be like in just a couple of years? We hear all this stuff about superintelligence and AI agents taking over, but what's the reality going to be on the ground?
And what we've found when you really dig in is that the answer probably isn't what you're expecting. You know, the most important shifts aren't going to be about killer robots or computers that wake up one day. It's something much more fundamental.
To really get where we're going, we have to start at the foundation. The very engine of how AI works is changing, and it's becoming less about the raw power of the code and way more about the information we give it.
Just take a look at this. What this chart is showing us is that the performance of all the big AI models, your Geminis, your ChatGPTs, they're all starting to cluster together. That gap in quality between them, it's shrinking fast. It means there's no single model that has this huge unbeatable lead anymore.
And here's the other side of the coin. It's not just that the models are getting similar in quality. They're becoming radically cheaper and more efficient to run. I mean, check out this number. Nvidia's latest chips use 105,000 times less energy per token, that's just a little unit of text, than they did a decade ago. That is just a mind-blowing leap in efficiency.
So here's the big takeaway. AI models are basically becoming a commodity. They're becoming like electricity. You don't really care who made the electricity, you just care what you can plug into the wall. The focus is shifting from who has the best model to what awesome stuff you can build with it. But even the smartest model in the world has this one massive blind spot. Let's call it the fact gap. See, it knows everything on the public internet, but it knows absolutely nothing about you. It doesn't know about that email your boss sent yesterday or your team's goals for this quarter. It's missing all your personal contacts.
And this is where you suddenly get a huge advantage. The new killer skill isn't about writing some super fancy prompt. It's what we could call context engineering. It's just organizing your digital life so the AI can actually find what it needs to help you. If your work is a mess, scattered across 10 different apps and folders called Untitled, well, you're tying the AI's hands behind its back.
Okay, so let's move on from the foundation and see how this actually changes our day-to-day jobs. We're talking about new skills and totally redesigned workflows. So you've probably heard all the buzz about autonomous AI agents, right? That's the long-term dream. But the reality for 2026, and this is where the nearly $3 trillion of value is in AI-assisted workflows. So don't think of it as a replacement. Think of it as a super-powered collaborator that helps you with specific steps of your job.
And this isn't just some theory. Look at these real-world results from huge industries. A pharmaceutical company cut its prep time for clinical studies by 60%. A utility company cut its call center costs in half. A bank cut the human hours needed for a really complex coding task by 50%. This is the real impact right now.
And that brings us to this really powerful statistic. 75% of people using these tools at work say they're doing tasks they literally could not do before. This isn't just about doing the old stuff a little faster. It's about unlocking entirely new abilities. It's the end of the technical divide. So think about what this really means. If you're an expert in your field, maybe you're a marketer who just gets your customer, or a scientist with a brilliant idea, that technical barrier that used to stand between your idea and actually making it, it's crumbling. You don't have to wait for a specialist to build your vision anymore.
So all this amazing tech is great, but how is it actually going to get into everybody's hands? Well, that brings us to how the AI economy itself is changing and the business models that are going to make it accessible for all of us. Okay, let's talk about ads. I know nobody loves ads, but let's look at it from another angle. In a world without them, the very best AI tools stay locked behind expensive paywalls, and that creates a gap between the haves and the have-nots. Advertising, for all its flaws, is the one business model that truly democratizes access. It's what allows a student or a small nonprofit to use the exact same powerful tools as a massive corporation.
And the good news here is that the industry seems to understand that trust is everything. So the format we're likely to see isn't going to be sponsored answers that pollute your results. Instead, think of separate, clearly marked ads on the side of the page, kind of like what we're used to seeing already. They won't interfere with the AI's actual response.
So far, we've pretty much only talked about AI as software living in our computers. So let's pivot. What happens when this intelligence steps out of the screen and into the physical world?
You know, humanoid robots get all the attention, but the real revolution is happening right now with specialized physical AI. Waymo's self-driving cars, they're involved in 96% fewer crashes. Amazon's warehouse robots have made shipping 78% faster. And China has already deployed more industrial robots than the rest of the world combined. The impact is already massive.
And this all points to this profound shift in how we think about, well, stuff. Physical things are becoming what you could call software endpoints. A car or a tractor isn't just a machine that gets older and loses value anymore. It's now a platform that gets smarter and safer over time through software updates, just like your phone does.
So, we've hit on the tech, the jobs, the economics, even the physical world. Let's land the plane here. What does all this mean for you? What's your personal strategy for 2026?
I love this quote from Wharton professor Ethan Mollick because it just captures this moment perfectly. We are in this rare, unique window where all the rules are being rewritten. Because everything is so new and messy, nobody has a huge head start. There are no established experts who have it all figured out. Seriously, the playing field has been leveled. The people you think of as the experts, they're figuring this out right alongside you. The only real advantage right now is a willingness to learn faster than the person next to you. So the final question is, what will you learn first? I'd really encourage you to just pick one area we've talked about and start digging in. The future is being written as we speak, and you have the power to be a part of it.